Naval Imagineer Ken Cushman here one more time. One more time to talk about this BP Gulf oil mess and my feelings on it at this point. Came to the realization last week that this whole thing is just like an orphan issue. Nobody really wants to do anything about it. Nobody really wants to stop the oil leak. You got BP, a huge corporation, who's going to do this in the most cost-effective way using their traditional methods that they know with their large but limited funds. They in turn have made a deal with the U.S. government, obviously, and the U.S. government in turn is run by the left wing, which is kind of split generally into two parts now. You've got the hardcore environmentalists, and this whole thing is like, it's like a knife being twisted in them, and in most Americans and people around the world. And it's just, it's killing them. It's driving them crazy. Me too. And then you've got the hardcore left-wing party political socialists that are using this as a long-term way of getting control of oil production so they can control the pollution of the environment in a long-term sense, but sort of using this whole thing as a sort of sacrificial lamb. It's the only explanation I can think of for why so many opportunities have been missed to really do some big ideas to stop everything. Then you've got the people on the right, and they're pretty much split into two groups too. You've got the corporatists and the people who kind of secretly are maybe thinking this is a good thing because it's making the current administration look bad. And then you've got the little people who, a lot of them are probably those poor people down in the Gulf that are running the fishing boats and the shrimp boats and everything, and driving the boats out to the oil rigs and things, and they're suffering, and most of them are probably, I would think, probably lean more towards the conservative and values, and of course they want this stopped. So what you have in the end is just this problem that's just working at cross purposes. Nobody wants to take control of it. Nobody really wants to do the big things that need to be done. There's no leadership here. There's no will to action here. And it was driving me crazy. And when I came to this realization, sure, I felt kind of helpless, but I feel as though at least by getting these ideas out, maybe the general population it'll all sink in, and through osmosis, hopefully that won't take too long, the will arise, and Washington will get it together, and everyone will work together, and we can stop this horrifying disaster. Because if it goes on 2, 3, 5, 6 months, it's just going to irrevocably destroy a huge part of the ocean and the earth. It's I talked before about my concept of stasis and stopping the oil. This is like the stasis of inaction and small ideas, and it's leading nowhere. So I'm not going to make any more videos about this particular subject. I feel as though I've just about said all I can on it. I've got my idea. I'm going to move on to some comments on my big idea. As you remember from my first video and my second one, of taking a super tanker and then using other large tankers as buoyant objects, kind of in a controlled sinking, lowering, getting that tanker down with a big hole cut in it over the top of the wellhead. Okay, one really salient objection that somebody from Belgium made, and I've been worrying about this too, is that the ooze of the seabed, or whatever the seabed is like there, is really not, just because the tanker sets on it and sinks into it, that's not going to be enough of a seal to keep the oil, once it comes out and fills the tanker, from oozing out through the seabed itself or on the edges. So I thought about this, and let me show you a little illustration here, graphic demonstration of a possible solution to that. Okay, this pillow represents the seabed, and this piece of corn can act as the wellhead. So what we want to do is, assuming that this seabed is too porous to form a seal with the base of the tanker as it sinks onto it, what we need to do is build some kind of foundation. Maybe we could use drilling mud, a special concoction of it, or maybe we could use underwater cement, or maybe there's some other material, maybe, I don't know, some kind of rubber material or something that would work well at that pressure. And this towel here will serve as an example. Imagine this is the wellhead and all, and we just kind of lay this over the seabed, and here's the wellhead. So this is like a foundation sort of what I just described that's sitting down there, that's going to facilitate the tanker. And again, I'll use the USS Hyades model. As it comes down and lands right there, this material will facilitate it, whether it's like a wet concrete that's in the process of drying as this comes down, and that will form this seal. And we can take the pressure off the wellhead. The size of the huge tanker that will be there will relieve all that pressure and cut it down from the 8,000 pounds per square inch to something that could be managed. We could have other wellheads on top of the tanker to take it off, and it'll be a huge underwater reservoir. I know this would work, but I know it's going to take an effort of our nation, not BP, not the other oil companies. Our nation is going to have to get behind this 100%, and it's going to have to be an effort rivaling when we entered World War II. But this is an important enough disaster and problem for the entire world that we need to do that. Okay, well, I think I've said all I need to say about this stuff. So, me and the monkey are going to say goodbye, and God bless the Gulf and the USA.